What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Here's my husband. You haven't seen him in a while.
Hey guys.
Ain't he cute? He's so cute. I almost would have missed out on his cuteness though because I friend zoned him hard.
Yes.
Really hard.
Very
Why don't you
hard.
tell them what I was like when you first started dating me? Like a quick snapshot. No, when you first met me.
When I first met you,
What was I like? Where was I at?
Sammy was very authoritative, always had the right answers, always had the right answers from her time with God. It never felt like she had needs ever. It felt like it was really hard to actually affect her whatsoever. Like, oh, I'm loved. I don't need your love. Oh, I'm good. I don't need any help from you. Oh, I actually have enough faith. I don't need you to believe for anything. Thanks for prayer, but deep down, I really don't need it. That's kind of the vibe that I got from her. Was like, it's kind of hard to even affect her at all. But I could tell that there were still things that I could tell. She's hungry for something. There's an authenticity that she's hungry for. And she has to not like being like the leader in all of her friendships. There's got to be some part of her that wants something more than being the leader to all of her friends. And
I did. I felt so alone. I pushed him away. He was just trying to be a friend to me, and I would freak out if I ever thought that there could be anything more because I was like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I had such an independent edge, and I was stuck in so much self-protection that I actually wasn't even willing to explore dating. Not him, not really anyone.
Well, you were crazy about this guy that honestly wasn't interested in her, but acted like he was interested, but she kept holding on. I actually wrote in my journal one time as her friend, like when I was just friends with her, I wrote in my journal one time that Sammy doesn't know her own value because she's still holding on to X guy's name. And I was like, I was like praying for her because I could tell she like deep down didn't know her own value because she was still holding on to someone that wouldn't be willing to pursue her and fight for her.
And he liked me at a lot of different moments, and I pushed away his love. I wasn't willing, but what I didn't know is that I was terrified of risk. I was terrified of vulnerability. I was terrified of opening up my heart to someone. I thought I needed this perfect guy, or I thought I needed to wait until God told me that this is your husband before I'd be willing to risk it. But I would actually I'd be missing out on love, and love is vulnerability. Love exposes itself.
Yeah, I just wanted to add in right there, though. I think it's good to hear from God about who you're dating, about your spouse. But I think what we do is we remove the element of our will and our choices that God trusts us with. And oftentimes we're so terrified of making the wrong choice or so terrified of pain that we hold on to this word almost in desperation. And it almost restricts us from being able to confront the fears that are actually keeping us in that spot.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things, just as a side note, because we were talking about how Sammy didn't have needs, Sammy wasn't really accessible with, being affected. One of the things I told her before we dated too was that it's a red flag that you are the biggest person in your life, that you're not receiving leadership. If I were to date her, I'd feel scared. I'd feel scared. I'm like, so nobody is influencing you when you don't know that you're triggered, when you think that I'm just like your dad, or when you think that you think that I have a different motive, like who else is going to be speaking into you, And so that was one other thing that I could feel.
And the story that I told myself through this entire 2-year, 3-year, 4-year season of my life was that I intimidated men, that it was just because I was too powerful, too confident, too connected to God, that it scared them off. And that was the narrative that played in my head. And that's what, because I believed that, that's actually what men would say to me is, oh, I just felt really intimidated when I met you, or, oh, this about you, oh, this about you. And because I believed this about me, I actually carried myself in a way with that hard edge where it did push people away.
You liked
and
it
I would,
and owned it.
And I would get that feedback, and it actually fueled my ego and actually reinforced me wanting to keep up all of these protectors. But what I didn't know is it was really blocking me and disconnecting me from the gift of entering into dating and exploration and risking it. And it wasn't until I started owning that part of me, like, wow, I'm really independent. Wow, I've been really closed off. Wow, I have like a big fat no sign on my forehead saying not available.
Or maybe other letters.
What, like F off? I did. Like, yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is whatever's happening in you internally is typically the thing that's broadcasted right on your forehead. Whether you're spiritual or not spiritual, we're all sensitive beings and we can pick up on things. And so for years, I lived like that, but it wasn't until I addressed that part of my life that I started softening and I started opening and I started being willing to risk it. And I got out of this place of feeling like I had to just hide myself in God 24/7 and just fast and pray and be with him, to like, actually God told me to do this. He said, go find me in your people now, or go find me in my people now. And I could feel God kind of pull back from me in a sense. And there was a 2-year period where God didn't feel as accessible to me. I knew he was there. I still heard him. God never actually leaves us, so I knew he didn't leave me. But I could feel God pushing me to find the goodness and the glory of God in humanity. Because we are the hands and the feet of God. We're all of the different parts of the body, and we all carry a different facet inside of his face, and we're all a different representation of him. And it was in that season that I actually opened to relationship, and it happened so that I opened up to relationship with Spencer and ended up falling in love with him literally after 3 weeks of dating. Yeah. We were friends for 2 years, 3 weeks of dating. I knew I was in love with him, and it just happened, but I had made the decision to be open and to remove those protectors.
I think when we look at scripture, like when we hear like Jesus came to give life and life abundantly, we think that means that outwardly everything is meant to be life and life abundantly. And so all these people are searching for the perfect husband or the perfect wife or the perfect family. And we don't say that we're doing that, but deep down we are, and those are our motives. And we're looking for the perfect job. And then we go, God has really blessed me because I have this perfect job, or God has really blessed me because I have this perfect marriage or relationship. And then when it gets rocky or shaky, we're like, God, what are you doing? Why? And we start kind of pointing our blame towards him, or sometimes we look at ourselves and we're praying like, God, why aren't you fixing this? And we're trying to make sense of all of the pain in our lives, but fear of pain drives us to crazy places. And I think Christians are some of the people that are scared of pain the most. Yeah. And we run towards Jesus thinking that he's going to offer us this pain-free life, and that if we're in pain, then somehow we're not in the will of God. When life and life abundantly was actually meant to be something that was constant within us. We were meant to carry a constant. We were meant to internally actually carry this love that was unshakable, untouchable. We were meant to carry this hope that was unshakable, untouchable. We were meant to carry this peace that was unshakable, untouchable. And we don't think that relationship is actually an invitation to dive deeper into that constant. Oh, if all of my hope is at stake because my relationship's on the rocks, isn't that a really good indicator that your hope and your love is shaky? Isn't that a good indicator that there's something inside of you that needs help? Like, there's something inside of us that runs away from the things that trigger us most. In scriptures, like all the people that followed Jesus were disciples that he invited into an adventure where there was no external security. There was no way to actually have a safety outside of Jesus. And they had to find their safety and security in him no matter what was happening externally, which is why Paul could say that when he was content and had much, we had little and we had much, he was content. Mm-hmm. That's what we want for our lives. In our marriage, when things are high or low, we have this unshakable thing with God, and we're not there yet, but we're letting life be an invitation into that place.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what it is, but I feel God on this and I want this, we really want to encourage you to click the link below. It's in the description. Watch our workshop. If you resonate with having that independent spirit or that hard edge college, or you realize like, man, I was the caregiver in childhood for my family, and that's translated into my adulthood. Now I'm serving all the people around me, and I don't have the leadership that I want, or I'm in self-protection. I keep pushing away these people in my life, or maybe you're just not attracting the kind of people that you would want to do relationship with. I really encourage you, go on the journey. A lot of our course is really just learning how to get you self-aware and then radically connected to God, to love, and to compassion in those places that you need it the most, with a few like practical tools along the way. So if that's you and you're hungry and you want more of this, then click the link below so that you can actually get more.
Yeah.
We release this content to like for you for free because we want people to be able to have resources. But if you want real consistent help and coaching to really get to the root of this stuff and not just gain more knowledge and information, we want to invite you to watch our free workshop and look into our programs.
Yeah. We're like videos like this. These are just us spur of the moment having dialogue with you guys. There's no preparation that goes into these. There's no focused energy or time. This isn't us actually coaching you. We're not having a dialogue with you. We're not going back and forth. We're not able to lead you.
We're not giving you any practicals of how to apply it to your own life.
If you want that stuff, that's where we invest all of our energy into our programs. And so if you're wanting that level of help too, then look at those. Take a look at them, pray about them, see if God's leading you to those, but start with the free training either way, and hopefully you join us.
Love you guys. If you like this video,
y'all.
Please comment. Tell us what you liked.
Comment below.
Share it with a friend.
Share it below.
Subscribe to our channel. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.